All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Market Wrap with Arjit Garg, a SEBI registered research analyst. Today morning, we started with a very positive bias, but later you all know what happened. FIS have been continuously buying from the past three sessions. In this particular session, we will be discussing about the rupee continuously weakening against the dollar. The crude oil remains very elevated, and the global markets are looking very fragile. Currently, Nifty is trading at around 23,600 levels. Let's dig into more details with the SEBI registered expert himself. Arjit, thank you so much for joining, and let's get started with a quick overview.
Thank you so much for having me, and let's quickly dive into what's really happening in the markets today. So, if we look at Nifty, Nifty closed with a loss of 0.14% at 23,606. Similarly, Sensex as well closed with a loss of 0.15%, around 115% loss at 75,200. Now, what's really interesting about today's movement is like the last session we saw a really good movement, right? Although it was we saw a gap up and then a little down move with the support ranges. Day before yesterday, the Friday session, we saw a very nice positive move. So the market mood and momentum and the entire sentiment is quite mixed. And on top of it, we have a lot of news coming in, right? So we have the news from the Middle Eastern war that there are no fresh attacks going to happen from US side, and then we also have the petrol and diesel prices, the fresh rise, right, which happened today. So overall, the market mood and sentiment is mixed. But for now, what we know is market, the Nifty especially, has breached our important support of 23,600, and it is again exactly in middle. The next support is 23,500 and the resistance is 23,684. In the upcoming days, again, will what happens next, we'll talk about that later in the session. But for now, this is the entire thing, whatever is happening in the market right now. People.
Correct. One of the most positive factors currently is FI continuously buying from past three sessions. And also recently, I read one report where they said by 2029 Nifty would reach 49,000. So, what's your view on this?
For that, we'll have to dig dive. We have to look at the daily time frame, and if we look at that, and then if we side by side, if we load the monthly FII data here, you'd see month on month basis FIIs were last positive in June 2025. उसके बाद एफआई ने बेचा ही है एंड दबा दबा के बेचा है मार्च 2026 1,22,000 crore like they're selling like there's no tomorrow. And when you come down to technical charts, you look at Nifty's daily time frame, the good days were like gone in 2025. उसके बाद तो market was sideways, and then the one negative trigger and the markets, it's just bloodbath in the market. Even right now, if you look at, we are just in a sideways consolidation between 23,200 to 24,600. This broad 1,500 point range, we are currently consolidating in that. Now, the big move would happen when FII start buying in and when we cross this important level of 24,500. 24,500 plus FII buying in plus DIIs buying in, and by default जब इतना सब होगा तो retailer would also start buying in naturally. When all of that happens, that is when we will start rallying to the previous high of 26,373, and when we breach that, when we cross that level, उसके बाद फिर सर मूवमेंट आएगा 30,000 35,000, वो तो उसके बाद आएगा. For now, if you look at from the perspective of at least say the next 6 months, 26,300 is still difficult. Trust me, I know sounds very stupid coming out from a research analyst's mouth, but for the next 6 months, we will be stuck in the range of 23,000 to 25,000 until and unless FIs don't start buying in. Now, if you look at FI daily trends from the past 3 days, FIs have started buying in. And the reason why they're buying in, that the reason behind that is also quite simple. We'll discuss that further in the session as well. But now that FIs are buying in for the next 3 days, don't just let this 3 days momentum take you to a next height. कि यार okay, Nifty तो 26,000 हो जाएगा. Don't rise that. Don't just ride that wave right now. Let the market show you some reversal. Let the market show you that okay, we are ready to cross 25,000. उसके बाद 26,000 आएगा, आपका previous high आएगा, उसके बाद 30,000 आएगा. So if you talk about long term, say 3 to 4 years, maybe in next 3 to 4 years you might touch 28,000 and 30,000 levels, but beyond that is still difficult. The valuations would not support above 30,000 until unless we saw some major correction, or maybe all of the revenues and the top line of all the companies start coming in line with the actual expectations. Until then, there's not much momentum till 30,000 for Nifty. People.
Correct. Now let's spice things a bit in the live. Let's look at what the retail investors missed today. Because personally, I was waiting for Nifty to break 23,700 from since the morning, but then it broke only almost during the closing time. So what did the major retail investors miss today?
Okay, so the retail investors, of course, if you talk about options, there are a lot of opportunities that they've missed today. Opening के time पे support पे open हुआ तो वहां से एक अच्छी rally आई थी, तो you could have bought a call option there, quick scalp over there, and then from the reversal over here, when you see a homing pigeon pattern, from there a very nice put option might have given you good returns in the day today. So these are the intraday option strategies. If you look at stocks, because not everybody has the courage and the capital to trade with in options, let's quickly discuss a couple of stocks that I have on my list that I think retail investors might have missed it today. Number one is BSE. We have been talking about Bombay Stock Exchange from a couple of lives now. We are tracking BSE. I personally am tracking BSE from like past 6 years from the starting of my trading career. But in this live, from the past, I guess 6 to 7 lives, we've been talking about BSE. The results came in better than expectations, and now the stock is at its all-time high. अब वहां पे क्या है, यहाँ पे रिजेक्शन है हल्का सा, वेरी स्लाइट रिजेक्शन, इंट्राडे रिजेक्शन, but again the momentum is very solid. You look at the volumes at the bottom line over here, the volumes are solid, which means a little profit booking is obvious, but then the profit booking won't last for long. So Bombay Stock Exchange is number one stock that people have to focus on. The other one is Voltas. Now, this is again a news based selection that I've made, because not just a news base, actually you can see a personal observation as well. Everybody knows the amount of heat India is facing right now, like 40, 42, 45 degrees common in almost all the North Indian and Central India cities. Even in Mumbai, 40 to 43 degrees is common these days. So given that there's such a hard heat going on right now in the summer season, Voltas is one stock which is fundamentally sound, and I think Voltas should do well in the upcoming trading sessions as well. Given that it is backed, it's not just a seasonal stock, it's backed by the season. It has a very positive tailwind of the entire fundamentals which are coming in line, and then the stock has come on. Yeah, the stock has seen a very good profit booking in the past couple of trading sessions, and now that the reversal is coming in, I believe this is going to last till at least 10 to 15% from here. So you see 1364 and 1423 are two targets that I have for Voltas. Stop loss would be very simple. Previous range के bottom पे अपन stop loss लगाएंगे, which is 1253, which gives us a very nice 1:2, 1:3 risk to reward ratio. So Voltas, BSE, these are the two stocks which I have on my list. Apart from that, a couple of IT sector stocks are also doing good. So everybody knows that the top gaining sector today was IT. Okay. Now the reason behind that is also quite simple. The entire Korea market hype, like everybody knows, right? The Korea market gave 90% returns in 6 months. So it unrealistic returns, of course, they don't last long. Similar thing happened in India in 2021-22 as well. If you we were looking at the Nifty's daily time frame chart, so if we just again we open the daily time frame and we go a little back, you'd see 2023-24. See the unrealistic returns, they don't last for much long. 24 में देखो आप क्या रिटर्न मिला था, उसके बाद पिटाई भी अच्छी तरीके से हुई, कंसोलिडेशन में रहे, उसके बाद फिर अभी तक कंसोलिडेशन में ही है. तो सिमिलरली कोरियन मार्केट ने जब बहुत अच्छा रिटर्न दे दिया, so now all the FIIs that had rushed to Korea, they are now selling Korean markets and they are looking for new opportunities. See, one simple thing that I'll tell you about investments and all of the FII activity, all of the foreign investors or these institutional investors, they don't sit on cash for a very long time. एक मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट करेंगे, they're booking profits from there. After booking profits, they won't sit on cash. They will look for some other country, some other opportunity to invest in. And right now, that opportunity sits in India because of the corrected valuations that we have, and especially the IT stocks in India. IT stocks in India, they are not pro IT stocks. They are not pro semiconductor stocks either. Korea was the semiconductor market. US was the AI market. US market, आप देखो globally, US market is also down. If I just load the global markets here, US markets are also down, flattish down. Nasdaq is down 0.51%. If you look at the Korean market, Korea was down 3.31%. Taiwan was also down. Jakarta is 4% down. So all of these markets where people tap for the AI stocks or semiconductor stocks, that hype is now slowly fading away. इंडियन आईटी कंपनीज आर एक्सपर्ट इन सर्विसेज लाइक सो आईटी कंजम्पशन हो गया या फिर all of the IT services that we render using AI, we can render services, right? So all of the momentum is now coming back into the service industry. That is why IT sector in India is gaining momentum. And a couple of stocks that I have from IT. Number one is Coforge. Now, Coforge is again a fundamentally very solid company. I've been tracking this for a couple of years now, and it's doing very well. So, of course, the fundamental numbers were awesome. If you look at the charts here, bullish pattern over here. If you look at the candlestick chart pattern here, it's a rising flag pattern over here, and we're at the third high over here. A little profit booking. I think it has some momentum now. The momentum is still there. SNE, that momentum is fading away in Coforge. If you're buying at the current levels, the first target would obviously be here at the range high, and then maybe you can enter till 1500 and 1550. These are both psychological levels as per the previous levels marked over here. Right? So Coforge is one stock. Now, when we talk about IT industry, IT में most of the people they either look at TCS, they look at Infosys, or they look at Tech Mahindra. अब यार आईटी में एवरीबडी नोज कि एआई इज ईटिंग अप ऑल ऑफ दीज आईटी कंपनीज का जॉब एंड ऑपरेशंस सो व्हाई डू यू वांट टू लुक एट कंपनीज जो ऑलरेडी पिट चुकी है इट्स ओके मे बी यू आर अ कॉन्ट्रेरियन इन्वेस्टर्स यू थिंक दैट जो कंपनी पिट रही है द कंपनी विच इज डाउन से 15-20% उसमें स्कोप है I'm not saying that your ideology is wrong, but verify the company's fundamentals and technicals before investing. So Coforge is one stock, fundamentally good stock. Operations compromise नहीं हुए हैं with AI. Another such stock is Oracle. Now, Oracle was in the news in a couple of past days because Oracle had laid off around 11,000 people globally. And इनका फायर करने का भी बड़ा तरीका सिंपल होता है. What they do is they would send you an email at 6 a.m. saying that 9 a.m. is your last working hour. Thank you for your services. And आपका laptop and everything will be auto logged out. Your laptops would be logged, so you cannot access anything, right? So again, it's a very ruthless way of firing somebody, but Oracle is still doing good despite all of that. Although the company says that AI is taking out a lot of jobs and their operations are compromised, but still, if you look at Oracle finances, OFSS, Oracle is doing very well. And their fundamentals are showing it, and technicals are showing strength as well. We have a small profit booking was seen in through the month of May. Again, of course, because IT sector down था तो पूरा सारी stocks down होंगे. But later, when buying started coming in, we are again back at the previous range of 9,600, 10,000 rupees. यहाँ से if somebody has to buy it, your first target should be, of course, the psychological level of 10,000. Once that is crossed, OFSS would again be at its life high. So the next target can be again at 10,400 and 10,800. So these are the three levels that we have for OFSS. So IT sector, if you have to look at two stocks, look at Coforge, look at OFS. Don't look at TCS, don't look at Infosys, don't look at Tech Mahindra. All of these are the stocks जो already पिट चुके हैं. पिटे हुए stocks हैं, fundamentals अच्छे नहीं हैं. AI is taking over their operations as well. So avoid such stocks and look at the good opportunities that are there from all of the sectors in the market. Represent.
Right, right. Actually, I didn't want to cut you there when you mentioned about BSE and IT sector currently in focus. So currently, BSE, just to add on to the point, BSE currently is planning to release a new index called Focus IT Index, right?
Yes,
Correct.
yes, they're
So
planning to launch the Focus IT Index as well. And another positive, I'm really sorry to cut you off, Ripadhaman, but another
sure, okay.
positive thing for BSE is that given that the positive returns that BSE has, so I hope almost everybody is aware that Nifty 50 के जो 50 stocks होते हैं, वो every 6 months, half yearly, the stocks are revised. So वो 50 stocks जो 10 साल पहले थे, वो अभी भी 10 साल बाद भी same stocks नहीं रहते हैं. Every 6 months the stocks keep on changing, right? This is called rebalancing of index. So whenever the index is rebalanced, this time it is expected that Bombay Stock Exchange would enter Nifty 50 once again because of the entire rally that has been facing. And whenever the rebalance happens, one big positive news or the positive tailwind or positive thing that happens for that particular stock is all of these index funds, mutual funds that invest in Nifty 50 stocks or all of the index related stocks or the opportunity funds that invest in all of the Nifty 50 stocks, suddenly all of these domestic institutions, all of these mutual funds, they start buying in all of the Nifty 50s rebalance stocks. तो मान लो अगर बीएससी आज 4800 है, आज निफ्टी 50 का पार्ट हुआ, so there are very high chances that in upcoming next 6 months 4800 से this can very well rise up to 5500 or maybe 6000 given the amount of investments that would be coming in that particular stock. Represent.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Well, let's look at the no geopolitical factors. Let's talk about the rupee and commodities.
Sure. So let's look at the USD INR. So one big negative sentiment or the negative news that has been coming in from the USD INR pair is that rupee has hit a fresh low of 96.61. Now, the last time we talked about rupee, it was around 96.3. Before that, it was around 95. So ये पल पल बढ़ता जा रहा है वाला item हो रहा है from by the USD INR pair. Now, again, it's a big negative for the markets because even if Nifty is rising, अगर हमारा USD INR Indian rupee अगर weak होता जा रहा है, तो the returns don't make sense because at the end of the day अगर निफ्टी बढ़ गया एंड आपका रूपी वीक हो गया, so at the end of the day for a foreign institution investor the investment value is still same. जो इन्वेस्टेड वैल्यू थी एंड नाउ द इन्वेस्टमेंट वैल्यू दैट इज सेम. कोई रिटर्न है ही नहीं. सो ऑन पेपर निफ्टी माइट बी गेटिंग गुड रिटर्न्स, but the real returns would matter once the USD INR pair or especially the Indian rupee, when the Indian rupee would start strengthening again, that is the point when real returns would be made in the market. And so this is a big negative for the USD INR pair and for the entire Indian markets. And this is precisely the reason why we saw profit booking coming in at the last hour. If you look at this, the Nifty's chart over here at 2:15, suddenly something happened and Nifty broke its important support of 23,684. And uske baad another follow-up candle that was again below and it was near 23,600. Why did this happen? Because market में positivity तो थी that globally the US and Iran का developments that are happening, it is leading to a positive development, right? That US said कि हम कोई नया attack नहीं करेंगे ईरान पे. Iran is also following that. Although Iran did attack the UAE's nuclear power plant over the weekend, but still the news that US will not attack Iran is a big positive. Now that big positive trigger affected the market, and the markets did open positive in the morning. But then everybody realized that USD INR pair is hitting its all-time low, and USD INR again during the market hours it did hit the all-time low of 96.61. तो जैसे ही वो हुआ again market तो गिरना ही था. So we have already discussed that. So ये this is the negative part from the USD INR point of view. If you also look at crude, so if I can load Brent crude over here. Now, interesting part about Brent crude is the sentiment is negative, of course. It's negative and it's mixed both. Why? Because Brent is above $110, which was a big negative. We already know that. $110 के ऊपर Brent है, मतलब 110 के ऊपर uncertainty denote कर रहा है that uncertainty तो है market में. But now that the entire global markets ka thing is now settling and it's going towards the positive end, especially the war, you see this big red candle over here on crude oil. This single candle is took crude oil down to 3%, almost 2.8 to 3%, which means earlier it was 114, now it is 112, down 3-4%, but still uncertainty is there. तो ऐसा नहीं है that things are cooling down. Overall, Brent crude is in a range only. It's in a range between 100 to 150. अब हो सकता है अगर ये बढ़े, if something new happens, this can shoot up to $120 as well. होना नहीं चाहिए, but अगर हो गया तो we cannot do anything apart from being hedged against all of this. So it can very well happen that Brent crude can shoot up to 120. If that happens, it will be a big negative. But for now, the cues that we are getting from Brent crude is mixed. On the other hand, if you look at other commodities like gold and silver, सो गोल्ड ने तो अपना ऑल टाइम अपना जो लेवल था इंपॉर्टेंट लेवल 164 का टच किया, टच करके वापस आया, एंड अगेन इट इज इन अ रेंज. इफ यू लुक एट सिल्वर एज वेल, silver is also in the tight range that we have marked already, 262 to 280. So that range is still there. What is important to look out over here is what happens in the war that is happening right now. The US Iran war, mein, what are the developments that happened? That will tell us what will happen next with crude, gold, and silver. तो ट्रेंड तो हमें पता है ऑलरेडी. गोल्ड और सिल्वर का अगर मार्केट में जो वॉर है, अगर वॉर पॉजिटिव तरीके से आगे बढ़ती है, मींस थिंग्स गो वेरी वेल, एवरीथिंग कम्स सेटल्स डाउन, एवरीथिंग इज गुड, लाइक यूएस इरान, एवरीथिंग इज गुड बिटवीन देम, देन गोल्ड एंड सिल्वर विल स्टार्ट राइजिंग वंस अगेन. वही छोटा सा मोमेंटम जो हमें पहले मिला था, वो मोमेंटम वापस से मिल सकता है. But if attacks start again and things go the other way around, then crude will start rising and gold and silver will start falling once again. This is the trend and pattern that we know from all of the commodities right now.
Great insights, Arjit. Now let's look at what the option data has to tell about Nifty levels.
Very well. I think the most interesting part about the sessions for the users. So today is 19th of May. Today was the expiry for Nifty, and this is the expiry numbers that we have. So इसको देख के तो फायदा नहीं है because already expiry तो हो ही चुकी है. Let's look at the 26th May, which is next week's expiry data. So the current strike price is 23,600. This is the point at which market is trading right now. If you look at the current strike price, put OI is very high and your PCR is 1.3. 1.5 के ऊपर जाएगा, that is when we have to be like, okay, now it's overbought, now we have to start selling. Until then, the trigger is कि यहाँ से market और ऊपर जा सकता है. तो 23,600 पे currently market trade कर रहा है. 23,600 से maybe it can rise to 23,650, 700 and 750. If you look at here at 700, call OI is higher, PCR is 0.78, which means जैसे ही market 700 पे आएगा, again the selling would be there. On the higher end, you look at the highest call OI is at 24,000. We all know 24,000 is a big psychological level, which is currently acting as a resistance. एक टाइम था जब last week when Nifty was at 24,600, 24,000 was our important support, and now that the market is down, that support level is becoming our resistance level, right? So important resistance is at 24,000 and highest put OI is at 23,000. So clearly the 1,000 point range is clear for us, 24,000 on the upside and 23,000 on the downside. उसी ब्रॉड रेंज में रहेगा जब तक 24,000 के ऊपर नहीं निकलेगा, तब तक either avoid trading or just do intraday trading. Like 9, if you look at here, 9 बजे 10 बजे मार्केट आपको अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी देता है. 9:30 9:45 you can get a very nice long position. By 12:31 you can very well wind that up and you can enter a short position and make good money. Here as well, if you look at the previous data, if you look at the Monday's movement, you'll see that there was a negative movement in the morning, but right after that, when the reversal started coming in, you'd see that the entire day was a positive one. So even if you've taken a good long side trade, you'd have made good money over there. So until unless these two levels are breached, 24,000 and 23,000, avoid any positional trades and just focus on intraday positions. Take the position in the morning and wrap it up by the evening. Either.
Amazing analysis as always, Arjit. Thank you so much. And for the users who felt like they missed out a lot during our what the retail investors might have missed today, do not worry. You get all the research reports, the recommendations by SEBI registered experts on Zdvisor app. The link is in the description below. Please do download the application. And Arjit, once again, thank you so much. And let's connect tomorrow at 4:30.
Thank you so much.